I started Healthy Families back in 2000. I had found out about the job from a friend of mine, and she thought I would be a good candidate for the job with my experience. I was currently working in a daycare center in a preschool classroom. So I felt like I had the experience of early childhood, but also the experience of working with families. So it ended up being the perfect fit. I met Amy when I first started. She was one of my very first families. So she kind of got the newbie of me, I guess. But it just worked great because we worked together. She was always wanting information about her child's development. She would ask for activities to do and what can we do with this. And we just kind of clicked. It was just such a joy to watch her grow with her daughter and her family. And then Morgan must have been about 3, and an opportunity came up that we were hiring. And I'm like, I think you should apply. I think you would be great. So she applied, she got hired, and then I got to have the opportunity to work with her. And I think that really made it more beneficial because she knew what it was like to be a family and what she wanted out of the visit. So she took that and put it into her plans on what she was going to do.
I started working with Tammy Stewart, who was my family support specialist, and we did home visits every other week, and she would give me information about my pregnancy and nutrition, and keeping regular doctor visits. She always had lots of information. She was a joy to work with. She gave me information to local resources. Sometimes she would even help me reach out to those resources. The program made me feel confident as a parent, and I love the benefits of it.
When I first met Amy, I was very sad and depressed and ashamed of how my life was. I remember our first visit was at my mom's house because that's where I was living at the time because I didn't have a place to go because I was just dealing with a lot of different crises going on. I lost my apartment, I lost my job, and I was going through a terrible custody battle with my 4-year-old daughter's dad at the time. And I remember the first time that Amy came to a visit, I basically just started crying and pouring out every single emotion that I kept inside that day, all to her. And I kind of felt bad for her because I didn't even know who she was. I just didn't have anybody to be able to do that to. So she was able to take all that on in a non-judging way. Even if I was having the worst day, I would have a visit with Amy and I would feel like 100 times better. And I just really appreciated her just listening and being there for me. Even if we didn't have a visit, I would text her, or say, hey, can you call me? And she would call me and talk to me, and because I feel like she knew that that's who she was to me. I decided to work with Healthy Families because I felt like every family deserves somebody like Amy. There's so much stress, pressure, hate, and abuse, and neglect, and everything else that's negative that families these days experience, or even before. And it just, to be reassured to have somebody there that's not going to judge you, and somebody that's just going to be there for you, supporting you and guiding you along the way without judging you, it seems to be a relief.
I think Tammy's been an influence on Morgan since she started coming into my home prenatally, just because we talked about the importance of having a healthy pregnancy, and then after she was born, her development. Tammy did activities with Morgan, and one particular activity I can remember was with painting, and Morgan did not want to touch the paint, and I can remember that being a moment where I thought I needed to do more sensory activities with Morgan, and so I did. And she was fine after that. So, and then she talked about how important education was, and so I come from a family that didn't graduate high school, and education wasn't important. So that was something that I wanted for my family, and so Morgan started school in actually the Addison area, and Tammy had told me of this preschool, and so I enrolled Morgan. In Morgan's first year of school, she went to a local preschool.
And you cried every morning.
It wasn't even a mile from the Addison office, and so Morgan attended that for her first year of school.
I remember Mrs. Dove, because that was when you actually was working with Healthy Families, because we had to graduate you. But I remember her calling the office, calling and saying, "How is she?" And we're talking to Mrs. Dove, and we're not letting her talk to Mrs. Dove because Morgan was still crying. And we're like, "It's good. She is loving preschool."
She built on that confidence every home visit, and then by the time it came to every other week, my confidence had built more. So yeah, it's been an honor to have Tammy watch my girls grow up and be a part of my family.
She even had her second born on my birthday.
I did.
I think the biggest thing is Healthy Families is one little piece of a community, and without that one little piece, whether it's Healthy Families or any other kind of program in our community, once you put us all together, we can build a village for these children to have a happy, fun, healthy life.
Safe, secure, loving,
Going.
all of the above. So
Ready
many
for
words.
school.
Yeah,
Support.
because it takes a village to raise a child.